Hello, greetings, and welcome to Bloom from Within Love. Thank you for joining me here. I go by Bloomy, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day, time, evening, afternoon, depends on where you are on the globe. And let's see, as the title says, this particular spread was actually inspired by somebody that I follow on Pinterest, and so it's going to be a really simple spread, which I am so grateful for. And it's the topic. The topic is, am I balanced? Am I balanced? Okay. So what we're going to be doing is there's going to be three card spread. All right. Even though you see more, but there's going to be a 3-card spread. In the first position, the question is, where am I putting too much energy into? What am I putting too much energy into? The second position is, where am I putting too little energy or attention to? And the third card is going to be, how do I find balance? Okay. And so that's going to be the basic spread. But before we get into the basic spread, I want to do an overall oracle, 1-card pull for the oracle from beautiful Kuan Yin as a theme. And then after we do the 3 cards, depending on how that goes, if I feel like I need clarification, towards the very ending, we will still do what we typically do, which is get a chakra card specifically as it relates to the third card, which says, how do I find balance? And so we're going to ask for a chakra card to support that third card, okay? And then, of course, we're going to ask for 1 affirmation from the angels and crystal deck to support the chakra card, as well as that third card, finding that balance, okay? Because in essence, that's what this reading is all about. It's about, okay, where am I putting too much energy? Where am I putting too little energy? How do I find a balance? Okay. And if I remember the person's name from Pinterest later on, I'll come back to the video and put it in the description box so that if you all want to go and check that person out. It was just something I saw on Pinterest, and so I'm not really sure as to the details of what they do, okay? It was also inspired by a beautiful soul, as I mentioned, that a few weeks back, I got a very, very thorough, energetic activation, personalized activation done by a very beautiful soul. She's been in the business for a very long time. She's in Australia. Her name is Lee. So she knows who she is. If she's to stumble upon this video, she'll know that I'm talking about her. But I was listening to some of her light language transmissions today, and it just confirmed and reminded me of just some of the most simple and basic things in this journey that we call life on earth, right? Releasing what's old to reveal the new, releasing belief systems, releasing everything that gets us all tripped up. And my heart intention as relates to who I am, and of course, Bloom from Within Love, and what I do and provide, including tarot. My intention with tarot is that it is merged with what I've come to believe, merged with the energetic transmissions, activations in which I've received in a very high vibrational way, but in a neutral way to assist people in the way that I've been being assisted. because like anything else, in my humble opinion, like anything in this matrix experience, in the 3D reality, um, anything can be exploited, anything can be abused, anything can be overdone, underdone, overemphasized. The mind, perceptions, beliefs, where we are energetically, it plays a major role on how we utilize anything, including tarot. So I bless tarot, and I bless, the energetic tools in which I use. And my prayer and my hope and my intention is that it serves any of you who comes on here that is resonating with in the most high vibrational way, in the most loving, kind, compassionate, neutral way that's detached from labels, detached from storylines, detached from the pain, detached like as an observer, and I know that's a very broad topic to sometimes be able to hold, you know, even as we're looking at energy that we're dealing with, energy, frequency, situations, circumstances, right? Being able to look at them from a bird's eye view and kind of in a neutral zone as an observer so that we can maintain a certain frequency, which allows, like she was saying, Lee talks about how that helps to kind of lessen or allow the resistance to kind of dissipate on its own without us trying so hard. Trust me, I can relate to this, okay? Trying so hard to not be in resistance, but then whatever we're focusing on, then we're co-creating it and recreating it and co-creating it and recreating it. In essence, we want to be in the vibe and the feeling and the thoughts and the intentions and the focus of that in which we truly desire, even as we're observing things that may need adjustment, if that makes sense. And that's the great apex that I've continually have been looking for, because we can't deny what we have to walk through. We can't deny circumstances or situations. However, there is a way, and that's been my heart's goal and desire. In my own personal path, there is a way that doesn't have to feel always so terribly horrible. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't always have to feel so crappy, right? It's an adjustment. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, because you guys know I love to talk. So my readings are kind of like a smorgasbord. It's not just the tarot reading. It's going to be, I'm going to talk about some self-help tips and tools and things in which I use. I'm going to tell a story, different things. So you guys have to bear with me as I am still, trying to find my niche and my approach. But I want to do it from a place of my heart and free. And when you flow like that, it's better, and of course, in time, things can get perfected, but perfected from a state of ease, not a state of needing to be perfect. That makes sense. All right. So without any further ado, we're going to ring our bell. You can ring the bell. We're going to ring the bell for a kiss. Okay. We're going to ring the bell. A kiss. Right. Excuse my nails. I got to get my nails done again, you guys. So don't be clowning. But here's your kiss. All right, that's from me to you. If there's nobody in your life that is currently showing, affection, I hope that at least puts like a little bit of smile on your face. All right. Also, before we get into the read, I do want to talk about real briefly two major essential oils that will be most helpful for you, for those of you that this resonates with, if you feel like you really need to work on a particular chakra, or you need to, let's say, awaken it or activate it. Okay, let's say you did some research and you saw the symptoms of what it's like to have a closed sacral chakra, or if your sacral chakra is not active or working at the time in the right way. Or the crown chakra, right? The crown, third eye, and throat. I brought out two that are really powerful. One of them is like a universal one that you can almost put on every chakra point, but primarily the upper chakras. And the other one, which is called, I'll bring it up for you here. It's, I don't know if you can see that. It's called organic cardamom, okay? And you need a carrier oil if you have like almond oil, sweet almond oil, coconut oil, as a carrier when you use it in its potency, probably. Okay. But what you want to do, this particular essential oil awakens, hear me out. This is going to activate. Now, certain things helps to balance, and then certain things helps to wake up or activate, right? So the cardamom is an awakener for the sacral chakra. Okay. The sacral is right below the belly button. Okay. And it's the color orange, and it's the joy center, the center of emotion, the center of, yeah, it's like the emotional body. It's the feminine energy. They say the root is the masculine energy. But it's all about sensuality, creativity, sexuality. Um, and it can become closed for many reasons, but I'm not here to talk about that right now. I just wanted to share some really quick tips. You can find this at Trader Joe's. You can find this at Sprouts. You can find it probably at like a crystal store. Um, Places that have like organic stuff or essential, the real essential oil, not the blends. Like these are the real essential oils, okay? And you place it on that chakra point, okay? You massage it in, and it's going to be absorbed through your skin, obviously. And it's going to help awaken. And what would help with that is, some deep breathing and doing some chakra meditation work alongside of that. And why is that important? Because it's going to help you to get in touch with your feelings, to give yourself permission to feel good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what, but in touch with being able to connect to your sensuality. Believe it or not, when the sacral chakra is not, it's low, or let's say it's not activated, the person will, first of all, you have a hard time facing your own emotion and expressing them, okay? Not only that, when it comes to sex, you may, depending on which side that you're on, you may have to overstimulate because it's shut down. It's almost like you're numb. That's kind of what happens, especially between the root and the sacral. That's kind of what happens. It's like you're numb. There's no feeling. And so in order to get feeling, you have to really overstimulate the genital, or you have to like excessively do something because it's not active. So in order for you to even be able to feel, you really have to just kind of like go to extremes, right? So this is why, someone will want to use something like that so they can get in touch with that and be balanced, to be able to feel good, to be able to enjoy things. Like the sacral is connected to a lot, okay? So that's why I shared that today. Since we're talking about balance, I just felt like, it would be good to share some of the tools in which I use, okay? And lavender, most people already know about lavender. It's a universal, glorious essential oil, okay? Simultaneously, I would put the lavender in the heart center, the throat, the third eye, and the crown, okay? it's good for all of those center points. Okay, so if I were working on my sacral, I would still like use this to kind of have it all merged in together, like, you know, um, to bring that like the balance. Because as you're moving up now, I know I'm saying a lot. Ideally, you want to start at your base. You want to start at your root chakra. Okay, very important. Okay, and for the root, some of the what was some of the oils that I have for that? Believe it or not, nutmeg. If you can find that in an oil, like essential oil form, that's good to activate your root if your root chakra has been shut down. Okay, but I don't want to get into all that because I feel like I am digressing majorly here, majorly. So let's just get on with it. All right, let's get some spray. Take some nice deep breaths. Set our intention. Oh man, get the other bottle. Set our intention to be fully present. Mm. This is a good one that I have, the lavender moon. It's lavender and rose as well, so this is also a good aura spray. Our environment nice and cozy, right? And Lee shared on one of her videos a Kundalini yoga breathing technique. And so I highly recommend you do that as well to get yourself out of the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic, which is basically get yourself out of the fight and flight into perfect homeostasis, which is calmness. And believe it or not, it's just simply, she said, by holding your right nostril down with your finger, breathing intently through the left nostril, holding it, breathing in for 5, holding it for 5 seconds, then releasing it slowly for 5. And doing that a few minutes will get you in that calm, parasympathetic, perfect homeostasis, which is where we find balance and where we find clarity too, right? So I hope that tip helps. I just heard that on one of her videos and I was like, oh, that's powerful. And I actually did it and it worked immediately. All right. So without any further ado, let's start with our oracle. Setting the stage with Miss Beautiful Kuan Yin. All right, Kuan Yin, what is the theme for us regarding this spread here about balance? Are we balanced? Okay. Where are we putting too much of our energy? Where are we putting too little? And how to find that balance? Do you have something you would like to share? Kuan Yin as a theme for us. I do cleanse my cards really good. I've done a couple of things. I was searching online about that as well. So I smudge them, of course, really good. And then I've also let them soak in 3 different types of salt. Salt is an absorber of energy, right? So I did that for the cards as well. And I noticed right away, like today earlier when I had to use them for another purpose, I noticed quickly how they felt different, how they felt lighter, how the cards moved differently. And so I just thought I would let you guys know that, yeah, I do believe in that. I practice it. It's just because it's energy and frequency. And when you're setting intentions and you're doing a read for one purpose or one group, it kind of has that feel. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Kuan Yin. What do we have here? What's a good theme for us regarding balance? Regarding balance. Regarding balance. Balance. We seek balance. What is a good theme for us, Kwanya, regarding balance? Where are we? What's the theme? Please and thank you. Huh. The tail. That's the thing. We got the tail. Card number 38. And at the bottom, we have Sisters of the Sun Rising. Card number 28. Interesting. There's a pattern there. Okay. Put that aside. Let's see what the tail is about real quickly. I won't get into too much of her reading here because sometimes it's lengthy, so I will just try to get the gist of it, and then we'll say the prayer and we'll get going. All right, the tail. Okay, so the tail is always flowing, always nourishing life into creation, always presenting steps and solutions, and always reminding us that we are perfection in this moment. You are being guided to relax, oh my God, and allow life to flow. Funny how we get this card when we're talking about balance, isn't it? Can't make it up. Okay. Now, maybe I should read it. Maybe this will be fun for some of you. So let's see here. Beloved, you are being invited into a more advanced spiritual classroom of the soul. Sometimes we think that more advanced means more effort. And yet, in spiritual matters, as we mature, we become more able to stop. Oh my gosh. And that's what she was saying, Lee was saying, to stop attempting to control and direct from our more limited perspective and instead become open to receiving and being directed by higher forces, which include our own divine essence at one with the source of all. This does not mean that we become loose leaf, blown about by the winds of fate. It means rather that we become like bamboo, strong within ourselves and able to move in this direction or that without losing our power. In fact, our flexibility can become part of what makes us a powerful instrument of divine creativity and healing. There are times when the tail, the mystery of the source, endlessly unfolding, calls us strongly to be flexible and to stop fighting against the flow and instead let it move us. It is the difference between trying to swim all the way to shore, not even knowing if we are heading in the right direction, but just thinking we could be on the one hand and allowing a cosmic wave to lift us, carry us, and deposit us on the shoreline and the right shoreline for us quickly and with grace. But why should it be so easy, you might wonder? The challenge is not to try and force life to unfold according to our whims, but to grow in trust, wisdom, self-love, and self-worth so that we become capable of surrender. The way The way is effortless, yet the journey to being able to surrender into the way not always so effortless. We can make our molehills into mountains unintentionally. And so you are being asked to let go now, to relax and allow life to do what it does, which is flow. Life, the tail, is more powerful than any apparent obstacle. The tail flows through all situations and presents natural solutions, no matter how unsolvable those situations may appear to be. It just needs to be allowed to do so. Wow. So let's say the prayer. I'm not going to get into the healing section because that's a little bit more reading. I'll go just skip down to the prayer. So a prayer to the tail. So here's a transmission with Kuan Yin. Guide me, restore me. I trust you completely. Your wisdom, love, and joy lights my path, and the way becomes easy for me. Om Mani Padme Hum. There we have it. Thank you, beautiful Kuan Yin, and the tail. Just going with the flow basically is the theme and the heart of this reading. Going with the flow, surrendering, letting go. Very, very powerful. Very much so powerful. So let's scoot this over a bit. And we'll get into that 3-card spread here. All right. Nine. So where are the areas that you all find yourself struggling to surrender to life, to that tail? Is the question of the hour, right? Ooh, whoa. They throw a lot lighter. Okay, source, guys. Thank you for assisting in the reading here. Thank you for a nice buffer of energy around us. Thank you for assisting with grounding and just for clear and concise messages and just in love, that all to be in love and in light. All right, so where are we putting too much of our energy? Where are we putting too much of our energy? Please and think, okay. Where are we putting too little of our energy? Where are we putting too little of our energy? Interesting. We've got a lot of swords, a lot of air, communication, mind energy here. Okay. And how did he find balance? How did he find balance? Please and thank you. How do we find balance? Ooh, I like this. Oh, I love this one right here. Ooh, la la. Okay, anyway. Okay, I'm gonna be good. It's not necessarily what you guys think, but that's just my naughtiness coming through. But It's not like what you guys think. Okay. All right, and at the bottom, I swear I keep seeing this one and the other one. Oh, the King of Cups. I love that. Okay. Wow. So King of Emotion basically is on its way. So where are we putting too much of our energy? The King of Swords. Yep, that is what came out. The King of Swords. That's where we're putting too much of our energy, too much focus, too much attention. King of Swords. Take a look. All right, so okay, so I'm picking up something just as I'm like looking at the picture. You guys know that I read intuitively. So, wow. In the background of the King of Swords in this particular deck, there is a Three of Swords that's up on a mantle on a wall behind him. You guys can see it. And he is concentrating game of chess. We know clearly that with all of the cards in the tarot deck, there's a light and shadow aspect to a character, okay? Because it's not about if it's good or bad. But the question in this case, in this position, is where are we putting too much energy? So it implies that there's too much focus into something to do with the King of Swords. And because my eyes were drawn to that Three of Swords on the mantle behind him, it's telling me that there are some of you. What is that in his hand? Oh, that's his next piece. Yeah, okay. There are some of you who are concentrating too much on the pain of your past. It's behind him. The Three of Swords is behind him. Concentrating way too much and perhaps even strategizing, in a good way. It's not necessarily a bad, but, game of chess is an intellectual game of the minds, so, really trying to, with your King of Swords energy, you're focused too much on that Three of Swords, but you're probably trying to so-called like, okay, well, I'm going to get over it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I know what to do. This is the next move I need to make. This, the game piece he has in his hands here. He's sitting looking at the board. He's strategizing. But it's, it's about this here. The theme that's right behind his head is all about this Three of Swords, all about this Three of Swords, focusing on trying to heal, get over, putting a lot of effort and intent, strategizing. Some of you may be playing games. I mean, it is a chessboard here, but that doesn't mean a bad way. It just might mean that in your mind, you decided that, okay, I need to do this and this and this and this. And even though I don't feel this, I'm going to do this because I'm trying to get over whatever the Three of Swords is. It could be the loss of a job, loss of friend, family, lover, whatever a heartache, a Three of Swords would represent for you. Okay. So it's too much energy being focused on trying to remedy and fix, and in a way, almost like play a game, like, oh, I know the game I need to play, versus just allowing healing. there's too much energy being put into that. And for some of you, it's too much harsh communication with yourself. King of Swords can be very hardcore, man. In a good sense, King of Swords is direct and very wise. But since we said putting too much energy, it's like, to me, that's implying also that maybe too much energy into what you're saying to yourself and thinking to yourself regarding this Three of Swords, in a negative sense, too much energy focused there, harsh talk, or looking at it from the negative perspective, or looking at it from woe is me, or negative, or the more lower vibrations, and you got a lot of energy and focus there, and it's too much, way too much. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, the negative talk at all, but that's just kind of what came out. Like, some of you are like, it's negative talk, it's harsh judgment, it's harsh communication, harsh conversation. Your conversation is too much on something. You see where I'm going? Too much on it. Okay, that needs to change. So then it says here, the middle one is, what am I putting too little energy on? Too little. And what's funny is you're putting too little energy on the Ace of Swords, which is new beginnings and truths, absolutes. Or I shouldn't say absolutes, but your truth. That's a better way to put it. Ace of Swords represents a truth, cutting out the BS. That's why you see, in this kind of gothic card here, but too little focus on cutting out illusion, delusion, cutting out anything that's not serving you, and or aces still represents new beginnings, new opportunities that are coming your way. So too little focus on what's before you, the good aspects of what's currently before you, the that are coming to you, your truths, the new opportunities that are coming to you, in a form of communication, in the form of messages, in the form of, since the swords do represent voice, communication, messages, pages, and of course the pages are that as well. But the new beginning, like the fresh start, not enough focus on, not enough focus on the truths, your truths that you have discovered, the positive, the new beginning, what you have in front of you now, today, or any now moment. Not enough focus on that, okay? And then the third card was, and how do you find balance? And this is where I chuckled. Love it. Wait, there you go. The King of Wands, baby. We got two kings on the deck. The King of Wands is how to find balance. You might say, well, how's that going to work, right? Now in this deck, King of Wands looks, kind of interesting in this deck, and the kind of surrendered into his arms. And for me, as a theme of the reading and a theme of the tale, it signifies like our version of surrendering to the passion that we have within, allowing it to unfold the way Teo expressed. The way to find that balance is doing what she's doing. She's not fighting. She's not resisting. In other words, she's no longer fighting or resisting anything that has happened. She's not fighting and resisting the where she currently has too much energy. She's not fighting the past three swords and all of that stuff that she feels like is a hot mess. You know, she's not fighting or resisting even her truth, the truths that's been revealed in her current, the positive things, the open doors and opportunities, the unknown perhaps, because aces are beginnings, you know. Um, so, you know, she's not resisting, not kicking, she's not belittling, she's not, you know, trying to bite him or pull his hair. You know, she's kind of just, you know, she's gotten bitten by love bug, she's gotten bitten by passion. And she's surrendering into her own passion. That's how I look at it. I mean, when you're doing a different spread, this means something totally different. That's why I was chuckling. But in this context, you know, it's she's surrendering to her own passion, to her now, to the ebb and flow of Teo, to the king of passion, baby, the king of inspiration, the king of life force energy, the king of fire, you know, and that's within herself. She's surrendering to that. And momentarily it's like she passes out, she faints, you know. In other words, she let go and she receives, like Teo was mentioning, she receives, and now she's probably in gestation mode, you know, where things are unfolding and being birthed within her, you know, while she's just receiving fire, receiving the king of fire, receiving the help from Teo, that, you know, just going with the flow. Like what's funny is like what the Teo said. And that's going to be, this is the way to find the balance, the way to get out, to get from this harshness or overthinking, focus on some past stuff or even current stuff that may be above your head, you know. Um, the way to get, you know, um, that balance is this. How do we find balance? This King of Wands. Surrender. Fall into your passion. Go with the flow. Don't push. Don't force. Don't fight. Don't resist. Don't try. This is all about fighting. King of Swords is all about fighting. Trust me. Okay, fighting something. Okay, and usually winning. You know, usually that's a winning deal in the right kind of context and spread. But in this case, it's not. It's working against the process. It's working against it. It's causing more angst. It's causing, you know, more scars and more headache and more stress and losing color. You know, it's like it's causing a lot, you know, because it's requiring too much effort and you're putting too much into that and not enough into just your new beginning, your truth, right? Releasing what no longer serves and just falling into your passion and whatever that means. And that can simply means doing nothing. Often the process is like she's just laying there, and that's sometimes hard to swallow. Now, I'm not saying by any means if you have a job and you're scheduled to be at this job at a certain time, I highly recommend that you go. Okay, you know, but listen to your own intuition and your body. That go, life happens, it happens, don't even resist it no more. It happened, you still love the person, that's okay too. Let go, just let it be. You love them, oh well. You love her, oh well. Just fall into, you know, the ebb and flow of life. Let it be. You ain't got to do nothing, you ain't got to fix nothing, you ain't got to change nothing. Just let it be. Let it be. Feel what you need to feel. Tap into your fire, your passion, right? Let it be. Accept your truth. Whatever that truth is for you, it just be an acceptance. Don't be mad about it. Don't resist it. I think that's the theme here, especially since the tail came out, is surrender. Is how to find balance. It's surrender. And that's just, wow. I mean, ain't even much else I need to say. I'm just talking. Now I'm like, that's really kind of where it's at the bottom of the deck, the King of Cups. And that tells me then that as we do this surrendering and bringing back that balance, we get to King of Cups, man. Ultimate fulfillment, ultimate emotional pleasure, emotional bliss and glee, ultimate, okay? And in a mature way, not the whimsical, immature Knight of Cups, Page Cup type thing. This is King. You don't get no higher than that. So that's ultimate maturity, ultimate emotional maturity, ultimate balance, emotional intelligence, right? Ultimate as we surrender. As we surrender. So that's, man, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Let's go ahead and, wow. Amazing. Let's get a clarifier for each one to see if there's anything revealed about anything in particular that would help some of you kind of streamline it even a little bit more. And this is my crystal, crystal deck here. This is not the affirmation deck. And I'm seeing the lovers. Oh my gosh. Oh, y'all, what's going on? And look, the 10 of Cups. I can't make this up. See? Lovers, 10 of Cups. Oh my gosh. That's, man. And y'all know lovers can be anything, right? You do know lovers can be partnerships in business. It can be friendships. It can certainly be romance, and 10 of Cups, that's the happy family. That's happy home. That's, all that you ever wanted, wish fulfillment in the family version. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, but 10 of Cups is like the family version, total fulfillment. Wow. Huh. Let me see. Why am I still seeing that? And now I see the Empress. Hold up. Whoa. Hold on. I gotta get these things shuffled. That's crazy. Here comes a Knight. I see a Knight of Swords. A Knight is coming. Okay, yep. Ending of the 10 of Swords. And a Knight can be girl. Don't get caught up on gender. Swift energy, swift communication. It can be about anything. You have to take it as it resonates. There's the 10 of Cups again. That's crazy, insane. How does that happen? And there's the King of Pentacles. Now that's what I'm talking about. That King of Pentacles, though. The sister. That King of Pentacles. That King of Pentacle energy, baby. That's the King of manifestation. That's that earth energy. Lords of the earth realm, man. All right. Let's see. All right, you guys. Man, see, look. Ooh, now here's the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, baby. Ooh-wee. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we just had a tower moment. Yep. So some of us coming out of them towers. That 3 of Swords up there. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. Yep, that's independence. All right. So some of us are gaining independence, which is always good. We're coming out of that lack mentality. I see 5 of swords. Okay. I like it so far. It's telling me the progress stages. There's the Knight of Cups. I knew he was coming eventually. All right, some of us got options. A lot of options coming at us too. All right. Maybe that's another reason why you gotta just surrender. Whew. And at the bottom of the deck, we got the World. Lord have mercy. Y'all, I'm serious here. We got the World. The World. Cycles ending, new cycles beginning. We got Earth, Wind, and Fire. We have Earth, Water, Fire, and Air represented here. And OMG, okay? See, I know, I feel it. I feel it. I'm telling you, I can't explain it. I don't know how it's gonna all unfold. I feel it. All right, so let's get a clarifier for that King of the King of Swords. What is that in regard to in terms of too much focus, too much energy being put into? What is that King of Swords putting too much energy into? What is he putting too much energy into? What is he putting too much energy into? The King of Swords. What is it regarding? I had a clue, but what is it in particular for those who are watching? For some who are still looking for a little more clarification. What is that? The King of Swords focusing on, putting too much energy. What is it? Please and thank you. What is the King of Swords putting too much energy? What is the King of Swords putting? There it is. Huh. Major Arcana. Oddly enough, I did say something to this effect. What does hermits do? Think. Hermits think. And normally a hermit, again, is a good card of enlightenment. But when we were talking about too much energy, and this is swords energy, too much thinking. Sometimes thinking is our enemy. Believe it or not. Sometimes we can think our way right out of a miracle or a blessing, or right out of something that was meant to be bliss for us. You know, because sometimes intuition and heart is kicking and talking to us. It's talking. We're getting signs from the universe. We're getting everything under the sun, right? And we're shaking it. Why? Because we're in swords energy. We're in that King of Swords. We're in that extra analytical to the 12,000 power, which is causing him to lose. He's losing vital life energy, you know, because he's doing too much thinking. He's sitting here trying to plan. He's looking at the board. He's got this piece in his hand. You know, sun probably went up and down like a million times in the background over here because he just sat there too long. You know, it's like he didn't sit there too long thinking. He's doing too much thinking. In essence, in the simplest form, it's saying where we put too much energy, too much thinking about a matter, right? And that can be anything that we talked about earlier about a matter. Too much. Okay, so let's see what the Ace of Swords, the too little energy. And look at, oh my gosh, look at all these majors, you guys. We have the World. We got the Fool. I can't make this up. Oh man, this is getting good. It's potential for us to really, man. Okay. What are we putting too little energy into with this Ace of Swords? What are we putting too little energy into? Ooh, that one to come up with this Ace of Swords. What are we putting? Oh, wow. Okay. See, I'm glad I took it because I saw it and it stuck out. Wow. And now at the bottom is the death. Okay. Another major arcana. Now, how are we getting all these majors at the bottom each time? Is that a coincidence? Ending of a cycle, the death of too much thinking. The death of whatever is no longer serving, like it said, too little energy on our Ace of Swords, too little energy on a new beginning, too little energy of our truth and accepting our truth and cutting out whatever doesn't serve, right? And what is it regarding? Four of Swords. It's regarding healing, rest, recuperation. And what's weird is, what is she doing again? The remedy card to find balance, it don't look like she's doing nothing. She's being supported by the king, baby. The king of hotness. No, the king of the king of she's being supported by the king of wands. She's just receiving. She's leaning into it. She's not trying, right? She's just receiving and leaning into it. And so, two for some of you, in simplest terms, too little rest, too little recuperation, too much thinking, too little rest and recuperation, too much thinking, too little rest and recuperation, or even grieving. And what healing and grieving sometimes goes together if there's something to be grieved. But really what I'm picking up is rest, self-care, rest and rejuvenation. Too much thinking, not enough rest and rejuvenation and self-care. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, I ain't making it up. So I'm like, y'all see me doing with the cards. Okay. All right. So this King of Wands as how to find balance. Clarify. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Another major. The moon. Oh, y'all gonna be like, this girl is nuts. Oh, because they stare how. Oh, well, so okay, so she's surrendering into the King of Wands, surrendering into the unknown, surrendering into the darkness, surrendering into intuition, because that's also what the moon represents, is intuition, it's secrets, it's unknown, it's shadow side, it's all of it, right? And so in this particular spread and how the layout of this spread, the context paired with King of Wands, it's, okay, surrendering into the unknown. And that takes faith, it takes that, when you don't have all the answers, especially if you're an analytical type, the thinker analytical type, if you're fixed sign, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, not necessarily, but those are the fixed signs. Well, I want to say, hold up. I know Aquarius is considered fixed. I don't know about Libra, Gemini. I think all air signs are, but I can't be quoted on that. But that's a challenge for somebody who's a more analytical type, just to surrender. So you want me to surrender to my passion, to my intuition, my heart, my passion, my intuition, the unknown. My heart, my passion, my intuition, the unknown. My heart, my passion, my intuition, the unknown. For thinkers, they fight this tooth and nail, especially if they're in their shadow. They fight it, not knowing that it's actually going to lead them to their ultimate fulfillment. But since they can't see that, it's kind of like, But That's what the cards are saying, you know, surrender to the unknown, to the moon. And that's a major energy. Surrender to, you know, not always been able to have all the answers. Maybe that's a little more clarity there. Sometimes we want all of the answers. We want all of the steps. We want the certainty. We want somebody to write it down and put a stamp on it. We want, you know what I'm saying? We want, if I do this, then just like that chess game over there with that king, if I do this, then this, and so the advice is to find balance is let it go. Let go of needing to have the answers. Let go of needing to know all of it. Surrender to the intuition that's being provided with moon energy. Intuition means you got to go with that highest heart, third eye energy. Highest heart, third eye energy, which is gut. It's higher source energy that doesn't have all of the blueprint explanations out for you before you can say go. Right? Ah, my God. That is amazing. Well, we got clarifiers for each. Moving on. Like I said, we got death at the bottom. I think we got death at the bottom again. And then the page of wands. Behind that, temperance. Yep. There's the emperor. And okay. All right. So let's move forward here. We got that. That's the king of. Got the back this way. All right. Now let's get our chakra. All right. So we need a chakra guidance to help us surrender to that king of wands for balance and for help us surrender into that moon energy to find our balance. All right. Man, interesting. All right, so please give us the perfectly aligned chakra card that's suitable for this reading and suitable for the collective to shift into and surrender to the King of Wands energy as it relates to this reading topic of balance and to that higher major arcana energy of the moon, surrendering to the moon aspects of what's going on in our lives. Please and thank you. That's a good chakra card to focus on and to help with that. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Ooh. Should tip that one. Let me see. Good chakra card. It's taking a minute. What's going on? Good chakra card. There's one jumper there a minute ago. Oh, there we go. Huh? Okay. Interesting. Let's see what they say. At the bottom, renewal. I love it. At the bottom of the deck, we got renewal. root chakra work, getting good and grounded and just refreshed and renewed. It's supporting the day long. Renewal, 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 renewal. All right, that's the bottom. But let's see here. The card that actually came out was this sacral chakra. We were talking about that earlier, oddly enough, the sacral. Completion. Now, in this particular card, you see somebody that, lost somebody and they're burying them. And then, like, whoever that is, I'm assuming that they lost is like literally there, right? And I'm assuming that this is like an angel or a guide with that person, that lady is grieving, but they said completion, complete. You see the sun over here in the background kind of setting. Sun is setting. What's interesting to me, remember earlier I talked about processing emotions and feelings, and I mentioned grief, if that's an emotion that needs to be felt and not resisted, not resisting that, allowing that to come to completion, because as we resist it, it's almost like it remains, if that makes sense. It stays in that current stage. We resist the normal process of completion, the normal process of any kind of a perceived loss. And it don't have to be a person, it's just a person in this picture. It could be someone of authority, something that you held near and dear. It can be a major job, a major position. It can be, again, a major relationship. It doesn't mean somebody died. It can just be the loss of one. It can be hopes. It can be, this can represent hopes that's in the grave right here. Hopes, desires, goals, ambitions. It can even represent a version of yourself. It can represent things that you thought, were going to be that wasn't. And instead of resisting it like this, instead of doing this, he want to keep strategizing. He want to fix it, right? He's like, I'm mad, but I have the power, because he does. That's the irony. He does. He's the king. He's the king of swords. Remind me of the Joker in this, but he's like, nah, instead of just, how about just grieve the loss? How about just let it come to completion? Just let it happen. It doesn't mean that something else can't be reborn or rebirthed or renewed, but what was, though, has to die. Whatever that was, perhaps it was no longer working in that same way. Instead of fighting it, trying to make it be what we want it to be, make it look how we want it to look, make it, you know how we get in that Swordsy energy, right? Allow the completion, and it can, and it gets better, but allow yourself the normal process. If something hurts, it hurts. Just go with it. Don't attach to it. Just let yourself feel it, like the lady that's like her, she's not so much in her head. She's just letting it be, just letting it happen. Let yourself feel it without judgment, without no judgment, no label, no attachment, no shoulda, woulda, no coulda, no, it ain't necessary, or, this ought not, and all that other stuff. Just surrendering and allowing it, because that's a part of the completion. If you feel what you feel, you feel. And sit with it. Just let it pass through, because that's how we allow the energy to move, right? Let that completion happen. she's, I hate to say it, I almost think it may be her. I want to say this might be her and her thoughts, thinking about the memories, that she had with, you know, with that person. And she's laying it to rest. She's allowing it to come, to full fruition. She's allowing it to come to full, I should say full circle, letting it come to a complete so that she, can move on in life, And that's not always a bad thing. We all, our perception and our conditioning makes us feel like that means it's a bad thing. Not necessarily so. It's neither good or bad. It's just going with the flow of allowance, right? Even if this is not a literal death or, something. If something is meant, and it's funny that I say that, and I also equally struggle with it. What's meant is meant. Do we play a role in things? Absolutely. We have to make choices and decisions that gets us into alignment, but she can't make him undead, you know what I mean? No matter how bad she wants that to be, she can't make him undead. And in many cases that we have in our lives that we can't make it what it is because some things are not in our position to change because it has to do with other individuals or other things that are in play and that they equally have their rights and their free wills to decide, so it's like letting go of an attachment. That's another thing that I'm picking up is us being willing to, it's okay to desire what we desire. It's okay to mourn something and allow something to come to a completion. And we can hope and we can want, but hopefully from a state of neutrality without attachment. Because I heard somebody say, who was it? Was I reading something somewhere the other day on a reading? And the lady said that the only thing that is certain is change. The only thing that is absolute, the only thing that is for sure is change. Is change. And that includes dreams, aspirations, relationships. We may want that stuff, but, the surrendering of allowance is freeing for us. It's freedom. It's where we find the balance that this read is basically centered upon, right? How do we find balance? That was the question. Are we in balance? How do we find balance, right? So we got completion. At that bottom was renewal, right? So that's amazing and beautiful because we're getting the renewal as this comes to completion, as we surrender. Some sacral chakra work, if you're wondering, so how does that play out? Work on that sacral chakra meditation, setting intentions to complete and release whatever needs to be released, to be in acceptance. Give yourself permission to feel what you need to feel, to be fully present, to let go of attachments. These are things that's going to assist with getting out of that excessive thinking hermit, to embracing your truth and your rest, surrendering that King of Wands and Moon energy, bringing it all into completion, and ultimately getting that renewal, right? That renewal. So that being said, let's get our affirmations and I'll let you guys go. Okay. Interesting. So the peacock, I see, what's this one right here? Is it Arcanite? No, it's Jasper. Amethyst. Let's see here. Watermelon, tourmaline, blue chalcedony. Interesting. There's a peacock again. I wonder if that's going to come out. All right. So what's a good affirmation, crystal angel, archangel affirmation to support this reading, to support getting back into balance? What's a good affirmation? Support the tail as well with Kuan Yin. Let's see, please and thank you. Okay. At the bottom here we got pink tourmaline. All right, so I don't know what that's about, but let's go with this one here. Got a lot of pink and green. All right, so what came out is the tree. And it says here, are you a tree hugger or an activist? Take the time to sit beneath a tree and connect with the qualities of its firmly planted roots, its ability to flex. Oh my gosh, I can't make this up, you guys. Its ability to flex and bend in a storm, and its amazing power of growth. Remember your roots, yet always remember how much you can grow to reach great heights. So this is going with renewal and everything. Okay, so Archangel Thuriel says here, did I get somebody online here? Can't see. I'm sorry. If I didn't say anything, that just is because I can't quite see your post or your message. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. If somebody's still online, I'm sorry. If I still see it, I'll certainly respond to anything that you all put. I just glanced in an angle in my eye, like in my peripheral, but I could barely see. And I'm like, somebody said something. I didn't even notice. So I apologize. Trust me, I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just not quite able to see the screen fully, and I'm concentrating on the reading. Archangel Thuriel, though, says, the earth is my mother. I am one with all that is. I am connected with the sacred energy of the trees, plants, shrubs, vines, and smaller vegetation. I embrace the sunshine as well as the rain. I am in balance with all life. I can't make it up. I am in balance with all life. That's the theme of this reading. And again, you all always hear me say, to lessen the resistance of your ego nature, you can add to any affirmations, the I am affirmation, you can add how, or I wonder. How am I connected with the sacred energy of the trees, plants, shrubs, vines, and smaller vegetation? How do I embrace the sunshine as well as the rain? How am I in balance with all of life? And universal energy is going to align you more smoothly with least resistance as to how you are or how you can. How? So I wonder, adding those statements kind of neutralizes that kicking and screaming of our traumatized inner child that's going to say, the whole time, right? So that's going to support working with the sacral chakra, releasing, aligning with the King of Wands and the Moon energy, bringing that stuff to completion, getting out of the head, out of the excessive hermit, thinking, getting the rest and renewal that you need, being okay with needing rest and renewal and recovery, okay? Ultimately getting to that renewal, which is at the bottom of the deck. And the bottom of the deck with the crystal affirmation is pink tourmaline, which is supporting again. In this one, it says, do you treat yourself well? Rest, recovery, healing, self-care. Do you treat yourself well? What kind of self-talk? I was talking about self-talk with the King of Swords. What kind of self-talk is going on in your mind? Pay attention to how well you treat yourself. Be aware of your inner chatter and make changes towards love. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. It is time to awaken your consciousness and focus on love for yourself. I'm swallowing this in big gulps for me. Okay? Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, I am. I'm taking this read for myself again. Was for the collective. It was for those who follow Bloom from Within Love or Empath Holistic Healing. But I'm taking it for me. Archangel Chamuel says here, unconditional love is mine. Today and always. Every cell in my being vibrates at the rate of love. I feel good. I am happy. I am grateful. The energy of my own loving vibration nurtures my thoughts and feelings. Adding the wonderment here, how is unconditional love mine today and always? How is every cell of my being vibrating at the rate of love? And how can I and do I feel good, be happy, and grateful? How is my energy, my own loving vibration, nurturing my thoughts and feelings? I wonder. Yeah, wow. You guys, this is an amazing read. I'm gonna put this up here with the tail, because that's supporting her all day long. It's even matching her outfit. Wow, you guys, I'm speechless. This is how we find our balance. We wanted to know. We asked, were we balanced? And that is, let me push this a little bit, see if you guys can get a little better sight there. Yeah, this is it. I'm taking this for myself too. I'm about to go sit under a tree and shucks, talk sweetness to myself, and set my intentions to surrender and to the King of Wands and the Moon, and all that good old stuff. Get out of this excessive, thinking and excessive hermit thoughts on stuff, and it's like, let it all be, right? Anyway, I certainly hope that this served you in some way. If you liked it, if it resonates, please like, share, and subscribe, and certainly comment. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. If you guys have any special requests and types of reads that you might want to see me do, just let me know, okay, in the comments, and I will go from there, okay? Sending you all love and light. Let's end it with the kiss. We're ringing the bell, right? I'll give you your kiss. Mwah, mwah. There's your kiss. And I certainly hope you guys find your balance, all right? So ha, so it is, and so let it be. Namaste. Bye.